We're following breaking news out of Dayton tonight. We have live pictures out of Dayton as officials are confirming they're responding to a shooting at Meadowdale High School. Lydia Bice here now tracking this from our Now desk. What have you learned about this so far, Lydia?
Now, I just spoke with dispatch within the last few minutes, and they tell me that Dayton police are on scene at Meadowdale High School after reports of shots fired in a large fight. Now, they say that they can't find anyone that was injured, but there are 2 shell casings on the ground.
Now, we know that there was a basketball game there earlier tonight, or a sporting event of some kind?
That's right. Meadowdale was playing Ponitz tonight at their school. Now, police crews are still on scene investigating, and we'll keep you updated both on air and online.
All right, Lydia, thank you. And we're also following breaking news of a shooting on North Dixie Drive and East Hillsdale Drive. Officers say at least one person was taken to the hospital for their injuries. We're working to learn more about that shooter, but police say they were inside a white Chrysler. As we learn more, we will update you on air and online.
I want to talk about kids. I mean, we got kids, they need support, right? Our kids need something.
Our other top story tonight, commissioners in Dayton providing explanations after the city leaders couldn't reach an agreement on Dayton's budget. With that budget not passed, there is concern tonight that important city services could be shut down. Clara Faith spoke with 2 of the commissioners who did not vote in favor of the budget. She shares the reason why and the next steps for the city.
An emergency city commissioner meeting has been scheduled for tomorrow to sit down and discuss the 2023 city budget. Today, during their public address, Commissioner Turner Sloss and Fairchild expressed their concerns and the reasons they don't fully support this budget. Community members and city employees came to hear what they had to say, and both commissioners say that this budget is not in everyone's best interest.
My decision on Wednesday to not rubber stamp the budget as proposed is simply because the public did not have the time to sufficiently vet it. There were only 7 days between the full budget becoming publicly available and the vote to pass it by emergency resolution. That is not a transparent or an inclusive process.
I take what I say seriously. I did not tell voters one thing and then come to pass a budget that does another thing. This budget does not adequately invest in demolition, is not a good stewardship of our ARPA dollars, and most importantly, it does not invest in our children. I cannot support this budget.
Both Fairchild and Turner Sloss say they are open to discussing their issues tomorrow with their colleagues and finding a middle ground. And later tonight, you'll hear from city workers and community members' frustrations.
Clara, thanks. And you can read all of our coverage of the budget at our website, Dayton247now.com. You can find this story near the top of the homepage. And as soon as we learn any new information on this and a decision being reached, we will alert you on air and online, as well as through our Dayton 24/7 Now app. With it, you can get breaking news alerts sent right to your phone. To get it right now, you can scan that QR code on your screen you see there, or you can also find it for free in the Google Play and Apple App Stores. A Preble County woman accused of killing her grandmother last month, pleading not guilty in court today. Heidi Matheny will be evaluated in the next 30 days to see if she's competent to stand trial. She's facing a murder charge in connection to the death of her 93-year-old grandmother, Alice Matheny. Bond has been set at $500,000. Her trial is set for March. Ohio BCI, they are now turning over the case of a Columbus man shot and killed by police to the Franklin County prosecutor. Police were serving a warrant in the middle of the night when Officer Ricky Anderson shot Donovan Lewis. Anderson pulled that trigger less than a second after opening the door to the bedroom Lewis was in. Lewis was unarmed. Now, in a statement, the attorneys representing Donovan Lewis's family say in part, the family of Donovan Lewis is relieved that the BCI has completed its report and turned it over to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, where the case will now be presented to a grand jury. They later go on to write, quote, as we anxiously await the findings of the grand jury, we will continue to fight for justice for Donovan Lewis. His family deserves answers, and we are one step closer to getting them now. Anderson has been on paid leave since that shooting. Live pictures over downtown Dayton skyline tonight as Montgomery County Prosecutor Matt Heck Jr. announcing earlier today that the annual Homicide Victim Memorial Service will be held this Monday, December the 12th. And that service is going to be held at Westminster Presbyterian Church on the corner of 1st and Perry Streets in downtown Dayton at 6:30. During that service, ornaments are presented on a memorial tree. They've hosted that annual memorial service for over 3 decades now. all in honor of those who lost their lives due to violence in Montgomery County. This service is also in support of those who have survived violence, honoring them during the holiday season. New data tonight from the CDC as flu cases continue to rise. Now, this chart tracks flu cases from October until now, and you can see there's a big spike in cases there. They're reporting over a third of all flu hospitalizations and deaths this season happened in just the past week. Overall, the flu has sickened more than 13 million Americans and has led to 120,000 hospitalizations and 7,300 deaths. Health officials are urging people to take precautions, especially as families get together for the upcoming holidays. Measles cases and hospitalizations also continuing to climb, this time just in central Ohio for now. Health officials are sounding the alarm after some contagious kids were found to have visited at least 4 public places, including a mall, a grocery store, and a church. Officials are saying that outbreak is being driven by a majority of unvaccinated children.
Measles is a disease that here in the United States we had effectively eliminated back in 2000, but because we have so many individuals who are eligible but unvaccinated, we're having a spread here. Almost 50% of our cases have been hospitalized, which is a very high percentage.
The Ohio Department of Health is now encouraging people to get their children fully vaccinated or risk them possibly falling ill with the measles. All right, we are on the cusp of the weekend here. Well, it might have started for some of you, not for us yet, but the sunshine we have been lacking, Tim. I'm hoping that this weekend maybe we can see just a little bit at least.
Sunday.
All right, fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah, we're going to see some on Sunday and Monday, but as for tonight and tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy conditions. Right now in downtown Dayton, you can see no moisture, no rain, but the clouds are going to be in the area and sticking around. 41 degrees right now, so temperatures dropping over the last hour a couple of degrees. Feels like 36, winds out of the north-northeast at 7 miles per hour. Sitting around 40 for much of the viewing area right now. 41 in Dayton, 37 in Richmond, and 34 out in Bellefontaine. Taking a look at our temperature outlook, 10-day outlook, you can see we're expecting near average or above average temperatures, mostly above average temperatures. And it looks like towards the end of the week into next weekend, we can expect some type of cool down to impact the area.
Tim, thanks. Brittany Griner is back in America tonight. The WNBA star landing at Joint Base San Antonio Laughlin in Texas this morning. The big question among some is why wasn't former Marine Paul Whelan included in the deal? Senior administration officials say they fought for an exchange that would get both Griner and Whelan home, but like many deals in the past, Russia pulled back on Whelan at the end.
And this is why it takes months often, because again, they ask for everything at first, and then there's just negotiating down and finding that point where probably both sides aren't completely happy, but it's good enough to get done.
Griner was freed in a U.S.-Russia prisoner swap in exchange for arms dealer Victor Bout, known as the Merchant of Death. She was in Russian custody since February after being stopped at a Moscow airport for cannabis oil in her luggage. We're also learning that former President Trump turned down an opportunity to swap Bout for Whelan. That's according to Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. Bolton says the trade didn't happen because of security concerns. The White House explaining their reasoning behind the swap tonight.
With any kind of exchange like this, we do a national security assessment, and that was the case here with Mr. Bout, to take a look at what the risks might be. Again, we're going to be vigilant. We're going to watch. He's on the street now. He would have been free in 6 years. It's not like he was serving a life sentence.
Now, Whelan was detained on concocted espionage charges in 2018. Bout allegedly armed militia groups throughout the world before his arrest, including Al-Qaeda. The 19-year-old man accused of killing 10 people at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, says he's willing to plead guilty to federal charges. Peyton Gendron's attorney says he will do it if the death penalty is taken off the table. His defense team said they plan to meet with the U.S. attorney in Buffalo and the assistant attorney general from D.C. after the new year. He will be sentenced on a state conviction in February. Gendron faces a mandatory life prison sentence, and that possibility of the death penalty is part of multiple hate crime charges. The former officer who knelt on George Floyd's back will spend 3.5 years behind bars. J. Alexander Kueng pled guilty to aiding and abetting in second-degree manslaughter in October. Now former officer Tu Tao goes on trial on state charges. Tao and Kueng are both serving sentences after being convicted of violating Floyd's rights. Derek Chauvin, who knelt on Floyd's neck, is serving over 22 years in prison. Students in Clinton County mourning the loss of 2 peers. The vigil held tonight to honor their memory. And back here, the holiday home tour in Dayton's historic St. Anne's Hill District Well, kicked off today, what to expect and when you can see the festive lights.
I know we're all tired of the clouds, but we do have some sunshine on the way. We'll have more on that in a moment. Here's a look at your Kettering Health Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
An outpouring of grief tonight in Clinton County as students mourn the loss of two classmates. The teenage girls, both students at Clinton Massey High School, died in a car crash. Luke Jones was at the school this evening where friends and family came together to pay tribute to them.
Close to 100 students came here to Clinton Massey High School this evening to remember two of their former classmates. 18-year-old Rosalinda Mendoza and her 15-year-old friend Presley Goldie were both killed in a car crash Tuesday night in Chester Township. Students this evening laid flowers and candles in front of pictures of both girls right outside the main doors to the school. Mendoza's aunt was also here.
And that means a lot. To know how well loved they both were and how they're going to miss their best friends.
And we're told Mendoza was so looking forward to graduating high school next year. Her family plans to be back here at the school tomorrow afternoon for a celebration of life. Back to you.
So we're kind of on repeat here. Cloudy once again is one of our headlines. We're going to be cloudy through the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. And keeping things mild, once again, temperatures above average. And then we do have a nice start to the week to look forward to, at least. So that's a silver lining. Taking a look at tonight, though, temperatures dropping into the mid to low 30s 40 degrees towards the lower locations, but staying cloudy. Might be a few peaks of sunshine in the morning, but not going to put my best money on it. We could see some fog also in the southwest corners of the counties. 3 p.m. tomorrow, though, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Cloudy skies continuing. Might see a stray few showers moving through the region, but no substantial rainfall. Through the night tomorrow, temperatures dropping once again into the around 40 degrees, upper 30s, but for the most part, just going to be a cloudy and mild day.
Tim, thanks. The 30th anniversary of the Woodland Lights continuing this weekend. Families from around the area came out to enjoy everything from the horse-drawn carriages to access to Santa's cabin.
It's not just here in Washington Township, including Centerville, but it's the entire Miami Valley. People come from near and far to come to Woodland Lights, and it's just amazing the community support that it gets.
Visitors can, of course, stroll through the 10 acres of sparkling light that they have to offer. You can check it out yourself every weekend until Christmas, when they close down for the year. Speaking of the holidays, the holiday home tour in Dayton's historic St. Anne's Hill District kicked off today. The tour may be sold out, but you can still visit that beautiful neighborhood over the weekend. There's still a lot to see. These historic homes are going all out for the holidays, and it's a mix of modern and historic. Some of these homes are over 100 years old. We're told this whole neighborhood transforms and takes you to another place.
All the tour guides are in, costumes of the time period. It's the Dickens Christmas, and it really kind of transports you back to that time. And you really kind of you forget where you are. You're in the middle of the city of Dayton, and you're going to forget where you are.
Now, if you don't get to join in on the home tours this year, you can mark it on your calendar for next year to get tickets before they sell out. But neighbors host different events throughout the year for you to enjoy, including a garden tour, a porch fest, and even a German fest. Winter Fest in Newtown is back after a 5-year hiatus. It was put on the back burner because there wasn't enough volunteers. And now, as Cassie Arsenault reports, this festival is all about tradition.
Winterfest is back after a 5-year-long hiatus. The festival was put on the back burner when it got increasingly harder to put the festival on without enough volunteers. But there was a push to bring it back this year. This was no easy feat to resurrect this tradition, but they made it happen. They hope to give families a magical holiday tradition here in the village of Newtown. The lights are being strung, the decorations are hung, and Winterfest is officially back tomorrow. In uncertain economic times after a global pandemic, inflation, and a potential recession, the holidays can be difficult. But this event is free entry, with free pictures with Santa, and some free food and beverages in the family fun zone, and a free Rozzy fireworks show to cap it off.
I think it's a sentimental feel. I think everybody wants to come home for the holidays, and that's really what we tried to create, is that hometown hallmark feel.
And that was Cassie Arsenault reporting. Here's a live look from our Kettering House Skycam now. Tim, you promised some sun this weekend. You better deliver.
I will try my best. It's definitely not going to be tomorrow, though, so don't get your hopes up. Right now, looking at the radar from today, we did have those showers move through the region. Those have moved well east into the eastern part of Ohio. So just cloudy right now. We will have some fog to deal with in the morning. But other than that, just going to be a cloudy, kind of gross day tomorrow. Temperatures climbing up to almost 50 degrees, going to top out around 49. Cloudy skies, mild temperatures, and winds are actually going to be really calm too out of the southeast, around 3 to 6 miles per hour. Taking a look at our hour-by-hour forecast tomorrow, you can see just going to be a lot of clouds all through noon. We might have some fog in the early morning hours, especially in the southwestern counties, and then moving up to about 50, almost 50 degrees by the afternoon before we cool down, but remaining cloudy and gloomy once again.
Tim, thanks. The longest-serving mayor in Miamisburg history, Dick Church Jr., has passed away. Now, he served the city for 28 years. He first entered public office as a member of the Miamisburg City Council in 1988, then ran for mayor 4 years later. Defeated the incumbent by 27 votes. Church retired in 2019. Funeral arrangements, they are still being finalized. Church was 81 years old. Wright State University honoring their graduate students during commencement. Tonight's ceremony is for students receiving their doctoral and master's degrees. A commencement for undergrads is going to be held tomorrow. For those who can't attend, that ceremony can be viewed on the university's website and YouTube page. Send a big congratulations to everyone who's going to be taking part in commencement this weekend. A story now from our partners at the Dayton Business Journal. A local nonprofit is requesting $300,000 all to build a resource center in West Dayton that would provide free and low-cost services to those in need. Enjoy wants the Angels at Work Multi-Purpose Outreach Center to provide healthcare options, job training, and many other services. That site would also have a commercial kitchen to do mobile feeding for senior citizens and offer afternoon programs to the school next door to the site. And if you'd like to read more information, you can go to Dayton247now.com. You can find this story and others like it. Just look under the Dayton Business Journal heading. That is in the News tab. Alter and Chaminade Julienne battling it out on the hardwood tonight. We got the highlights from that early season high school basketball matchup. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good evening. I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. The high school basketball season began several weeks ago, but there were plenty of matchups to keep an eye on Friday night in the Miami Valley. One game tonight was a GCL matchup between Alter and Chaminade Julienne. So let's go out to CJ. Eagles entering the night 5-0. Alter was 3-1. We'll start in the first quarter. Loose ball picked up by Bryce Johnson and George Washington finishing the two-handed dunk, but the team's trading baskets in the early going. Anthony Ruffalo brings the ball toward the top of the key and then inside the paint. Bounce pass to A.J. Lean. He scored from underneath. The lead going back and forth as well. Evan Dickey outside the arc to David Cartwright. He finds Johnson open for a close-range basket from the left side, but Alter still making plays. Ruffalo quickly across half court, and he will kick out to Lean, open for three from the left left wing counted. The Knights have the 14-11 lead after 1. To the second quarter, Gavin Lean will try an opening along the baseline. Instead, he finds an outlet and A.J. Lean for the 2 points here. However, later in the second, C.J. regaining the lead and their momentum. Washington finding Dickey open for 3 from the right side. Eagles lead 34-30 at halftime, and they stay unbeaten with a home win on Friday. Final score 77-70. More boys basketball scores from Friday night. Centerville overcoming a halftime deficit to win on the road at Beaver Creek. Miamisburg bouncing back from a Tuesday loss to the Elks as the Vikings win against Northmont. Piqua with a 19-point halftime deficit at Xenia, but the Indians rally to win. Also on Friday, Northridge winning 76-57 against Riverside. We have more scores on our website, Dayton247now.com. Well, it's been about a month since the college basketball season officially started. Both UD teams coming up short in their respective games back on Wednesday. This weekend marks a chance to get back on track. The Flyer men are home tomorrow when they face UNC Asheville. Anthony Grant's team is unbeaten in UD Arena so far this year and are ready to put Wednesday's loss at Virginia Tech behind them. The UD women go on the road Sunday to Toledo in what is right now their last game scheduled before a lengthy break for Christmas. Also this weekend, Wright State women were at Marshall tonight, but the Thundering Herd winning in Huntington. Wright State women are at Tennessee on Sunday. The Raider men go to Western Kentucky tomorrow. Only one college football game scheduled for tomorrow, the annual rivalry game between Army and Navy. But tomorrow night, the Heisman Trophy will be awarded to one of 4 finalists. Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud is in the top 4 for a second straight year. In fact, it's the 4th time in 5 years that at least one Buckeye is a finalist. The other finalists this year are Georgia's Stetson Bennett, TCU's Max Duggan, and USC's Caleb Williams. All 3 of those also quarterbacks. Williams right now being pegged as the current favorite. But if Stroud wins, he will be the 7th different Ohio State player to win the Heisman Trophy.
Well, a small act of kindness going viral on TikTok. A UPS driver's wholesome reaction is seeing a threat, or treat rather, for him on his delivery.
Now it's time for your TikTok of the day. Today, Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters tests your knowledge of moving floodwaters.
True or false? A large truck or SUV is safe from moving floodwaters. That would be a false. It takes just 6 inches of moving floodwaters to knock over an adult. Just a foot of moving water can carry away most vehicles. And 2 feet of moving floodwaters carries away trucks and SUVs. So turn around.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
A Kentucky couple has been setting out snacks for delivery drivers since the start of the pandemic. They say it's a small token of appreciation for the drivers' hard work, and they say that they love to watch the drivers' reactions on their doorbell camera And one of their UPS delivery drivers recently went viral on TikTok after she shared this adorable reaction to seeing the snacks.
Oh my God! You guys are the best. Oh, Capri Suns are my favorite.
Yesterday, that driver, Dorian Young, had a chance to thank the couple in person.
This house has the best snacks. Yeah, they have a cornucopia of great stuff. Like, you know, like I love coming here, and this is my favorite route for sure.
The reactions I get from the snack cart, that is by far the best one. He is just full of excitement and energy.
He's a character. Yeah. He's so animated. It just, you know, whenever she showed it to me, I was like, oh, this guy is hilarious.
Yeah.
So she posted it, and then, you know, the next thing you know, it just blew up.
Yeah.
The family says they wanted to show their appreciation for holiday workers' hard work and hope others will follow their good deed goodies example. Young has been with UPS for 3 years and says it is the best job in the world. We also have an exciting update to a story we first brought you last night. Springfield kindergartner Erin Miller has completed her final chemotherapy treatment, and after 2 years of her battle, she got to ring the bell at Dayton Children's today. So Erin was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in 2020. She's now cancer-free after her tough fight. Big congratulations to her.